Hi Collective, and welcome to Freya's Crone. My name is Melody, by the way, and welcome to a Let's Chat video. I just did a hypnotherapy session to guide you to connecting with your spirit guide. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to explain a little bit about what a spirit guide is, okay? So your spirit guide is a light being that is in the spirit realm that is assigned to you during your incarnation as an earthly human being. Your guide knows your chart and walks with you from birth to death. This being has had an earthly learning experiences to become your guide, as well as others' guides. Before you came into your human experience, you met with this guide to go over all the details of your charts and to make sure that the two of you can be compatible. This being also works with the angels, the elders, and other spirit guides on your behalf, collective, and they want the greatest and highest good for you. And they have a way of getting your attention, whether it's through nature, signs, dreams, numbers, visions, intuitive nudges, family, or friends. You have access to communicate with them as often as you wish, using the hypnosis that I just uploaded, which is a guided meditation, or you can do your own personal ritual if you already know how to connect with them, or if you would like to connect with them. There is different ways that you can connect. And as I had said in that video, sometimes it takes a couple of tries to connect with them because our ego has a habit of putting up this wall. Okay? And when our ego puts up that wall, we have a tough time bringing it down to access it. So it may take a couple of tries, so don't get frustrated. The video is free. The video is ad-free. You can use it as many times as you wish. Make sure that you save it to a playlist. Practice doing it every night if you have to, until you get used to how to connect with them. And then eventually it will come very easy to you. All right, so pay attention to your signs and synchronicities. Like I say, 1111 is very like a definite way to let you know that your spirit guide is connecting with you. They will let you know if you're on the right path with 1111. 555 is a good number to say, hey, listen, we don't need you going in that direction. When you keep going and trying to step there, there's always a block or a tower moment. That's because they're saying, listen, collective, we're putting this in your way because that's not the path that we're trying to get you to take. It's not for your highest good. All right. So you have access to communicate with them as often as you wish using that guided meditation, or if you know how to meditate on your own. Remember, if you don't ask the question, how can you get an answer? So always ask questions. There's nothing wrong with questions. However, when you are working with your spirit guides, because they are on the other side, you have to kind of like be very specific. All right, unless it's a loved one that's a spirit guide, then it's easier to connect because they're a loved one. Because I personally have a loved one who is a spirit guide, and he's a practical jokester. Okay, so some example questions to ask when you go through this meditation. One of the ways that you can do this, you can write down these questions on a piece of paper. If you're doing it at night when you sleep, stick it in your pillow while you're watching or listening to my hypnotherapy session. Or you can write it down right before you go into meditation. If you're not going to do it at night while you're asleep, have that vibration of that paper in your hand, or just keep it in a mental, like a Rolodex in your mind, so to speak. All right. So here are some example questions that you can ask your guide. Have you and this God have past lives together? In other words, have you incarnated here on earth together? Or have they guided you, or vice versa, in other pasts, in other lives? Because we've all incarnated. This isn't our first time here as an earthly being, all right? Second question, you can ask them what their name is. That's very easy to do. Go in your sacred space. If you pray in the mornings or you meditate during prayer, close your eyes, try your hardest to quiet your mind and say, okay, Spirit Guide, can you tell me what your name is? And the first name that pops in your mind is usually their name. All right. Where you are on your chart, your next step, and where will you end up? That is another question that you can ask them. Where are you at on your journey? A specific point on your journey. Is there something that you need to know? Is a direction that maybe is trying to take you in a different direction? Why do you keep having these tower moments? Stuff like that. And where will you end up if you keep traveling the road that you are on? All right. Another question is, ask what this earthly learning experience is for. Now, we are in a mass awakening collective, so a lot of us are already realizing what we are here to do. All right. But if you're not sure, that is a very good question to ask them, what this earthly learning experience is for. If you are in the shoes that similar to what I wear, this is your last incarnation here. So therefore, the mantle is dropping and you are going through challenge, suffering, trial, tribulation. You're experiencing all this so that you can be free of karmic debt for when it is time for you to go back to your spirit home. You don't take all this baggage with you because you're going to be clean and free, right? Another thing you can ask them is where you come from. What star system did you come from? What planet did you come from? Because we here may be here as a soul having an earthly experience, but we are not of the earth. However, there is some human collective that is of the earth. But for those of us who are not of the earth, we're in this reincarnation trap where we keep reincarnating because we're trapped in paying off these karmic debts, or at least that's what the evil ones want us to think, to keep us in this trap. All right. So you can ask them how many times you have incarnated here on earth. All right. Another question you can ask them, if you have ever been a spirit guide, such as, like I had mentioned before, if you've had past lives together where they were walking here as a human and you were above them, guiding them. All right, because sometimes that happens. You switch the roles so that you can learn something better. Okay. Why you hit a snag and how to get out of it. That goes back to that tower moment. Why you are in an impasse? Why do you keep having these tower moments in your life? And how can you get out of this repetitive cycle? Okay. Another thing is what is the best way to take care of an issue? Whatever this issue is, or if there's an issue coming up, or if you keep having issue after issue after issue, because when you don't learn the lesson, that lesson keeps repeating until you do. So you may have to ask them, how can I get out of this repetitive cycle of experiencing the same thing over and over and over? What am I not seeing clearly? What do I have to learn from it? How can I get out of it? All right. So those are some example questions that you can ask your spirit guide when you go through this hypnotherapy session. And you could also make your own list. If you can copy that list if you want, or you can make your own list, all right, of what you want to ask them. But those are definitely some sample questions. So again, thank you for watching my hypnotherapy video. Again, it is free. You can use it a million times if you want. I will never monetize my hypnotherapy because I don't believe in the subliminal messages. And I don't need you going and buying 10,000 Chevy trucks because this commercial keeps popping up, all right? You can't afford that. So that is why I don't monetize my videos. And I never will, even after my channel does become monetized. So if you are unsure of the questions, again, you can ask these questions. Go back through, stop the video, write them down. Or just simply have the questions in your head, because when you meet your spirit guide, you're going to be talking telepathically anyways, so you can just telepathically ask them. They will know as well what you are wanting to ask. If you already have them questions in there, it'll be easier for you guys to connect. All right, again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. All of that helps out this channel. And don't be afraid to share the video with like-minded soul members. I love you guys. I am so grateful for you guys, and enjoy.